Most business books or business advice teach you what to do, the best practices, the right way to do things. But where we learn the most is through failures and challenges. We've all heard that, right? So I wanted to document the current challenges that I'm having in growing my business and running my business. There are a lot of things that I don't know how to do to get to my goals, and I'm learning, trying daily, and often nothing works. The frustration is growing, and also remind myself that it's a natural part of the journey, so I shouldn't give up, but rather just work through it. This is a huge change of perspective that actually helps me in this type of long periods of frustration, of working at specific goals and not making or not seeing any progress. So for the context, current state of things in our business is we have like low 7-figure business in profits, which is great. Like that alone, I know is a huge milestone, but here are the limits. 1 million is a huge amount for a personal use, right? Nobody's gonna argue with that, but it's really nothing. It's a very little resource for a business. If you want to grow your business, create new product lines, expand your team, and also hire the best people in the industry, 1 million in profits will not get you far. And the second thing is we have been stagnating at this level for the last 4 years. So we've had growth, but it has been very marginal every year. And it's fine. Like our focus was actually on building the brand and defining processes and systems, building a small team, and most importantly, creating products. And those are all skills that I had to learn in that process in the last 4 years. None of these were super intuitive for me. Like some of these may be skills that some people just, have natural talent in. But for me, it was literally, I had to learn them as any other skill and practice them to actually get better at it. Like, defining the processes in a building, hiring people, building that small team and so on. That means marketing and sales was actually really the least focus till now. So we developed 5 products, 2 of them bootcamps with advanced engineering skills, which are very unique in the global market now. Like a lot of people actually know it as like the default bootcamps in the industry. We know we are the best out there. So we really invested our time and effort in making sure the product was perfect, and we achieved that. When I was developing the second bootcamp, actually, which is the more advanced engineering bootcamp with cybersecurity focus, I actually analyzed all our competitors, like all other similar bootcamps out there who are our direct competitors. And I literally went through all of them and I made sure that our program was at least 10 times better than the best one out there. And we had a lot of customers who confirmed that. Like when we talked to the customers, they were more than happy with the results. But interestingly, creating more products, improving them and making them even better had actually very little impact on our revenue growth, which is completely counterintuitive for me. But this is a fact, that's what happened. So I had all these cool ideas for new products, projects, even marketing campaigns, but to realize them, we would need more resources, which requires more money, more higher revenue. And I want to do so many things with the basis of our business. I want to realize so many different ideas that I have. And my goal is to actually bring our business to 8 figures. So basically almost 5x our revenue. Once I set the priority, which was I have all these projects and ideas that I know are going to be extremely valuable for our community and I want to develop them, but we don't have enough resources to hire people, to build teams, and to invest in those projects. That means we need to raise our revenue to finance all that. And when I saw that as a goal, it actually became very clear that we needed to shift our focus on understanding how to unlock the revenue growth and how to change that stagnating state that we have been in for the past few years. And that's the phase we are in currently. I actually did a little bit of reflection and realized what you focus on grows. It's like a simplest formula out there. What you intentionally work on expands. So 3 months ago, we actually completed the second large bootcamp that I mentioned, and we had already planned to switch gears into marketing and sales activities because we realized that's where our focus needs to go into temporarily in order to, unlock the next stage of the business. Now, I'm not a person who will try quick tests and hacks and do webinars to sell stuff or launch some short-term campaigns, etc. to immediately get more sales. Maybe it works for some people, maybe it's a good idea, not sure, but I personally can't do this and I won't do this. My approach is actually get to the root. Like, what levers do I need to use on the foundational level that will make everything else easier? For example, when your product is bad, which is the foundation of your business, sales and marketing and retaining customers becomes really hard. So if you put all your efforts in sales and marketing instead of fixing the product, it's like pouring water into a leaky bucket. So I wanted to first find out actual feedback from customers and how many repeat customers we had. We found out that people actually loved our programs. So the foundation of our business was great. Then why is sales and marketing such a hustle? Now again, making 7-figure profit is great. That already means that you have a product market fit. But I just knew and I know for sure that with the market that we are in, which is IT and cloud and DevOps engineering, as well as the size of our community and the uniquely good product that we have, we are just scratching the surface of what's possible. So I became super determined to find that blockage that prevents us from expanding even faster. So I read and learned from various books and sources, and I identified some mistakes that we had made in our business, which mistakes are inevitable, but it's important to identify them and to course correct and to understand how to fix them. And the biggest one that I identified was talking to a specific target group, like identifying a niche for your product at the beginning and then expanding to other niches, which we hadn't done. We talked to 100 students in our programs, and each one could be their own niche, which is not good. We have such a diverse set of groups, which is logical because our messaging was always very generic. We were trying to talk to anyone. So a lot of people were asking themselves, like, is this really for me? Like, I'm kind of convinced, but it's not like 100%. That right there was our number one sales and marketing mistake that I identified after learning and reading a lot. And another big one was focusing on one product instead of shoving these 5 different products on our website and trying to promote each one with the same effort, which was another mistake that I later found out about. After learning and researching and basically learning from people who do this successfully. So that was the starting point 3 months ago. I literally spent probably 2 to 3 weeks just analyzing data on our students, like qualitative data, like understanding what their goals are, what their challenges are, why they're choosing our programs, the pain points, any issues while doing our programs, everything, like all the details around that. Then learning all about product market fit, customer discovery, general sales and marketing principles, and so on. So it was a lot of trying to understand the current situation and also learning how to get to the next stage. So in the last 3 months, we have already interviewed many students, identified specific target groups that we believe would benefit the most from our programs, planned in to change our messaging in general to talk to those people directly and address them specifically. But I'm usually impatient with just theory knowledge, so I wanted to implement something to measure right away. So I basically tried to balance learning and doing things that I learned immediately. So as a result, we actually created the entire email funnel that we didn't have, by the way, even though we had 9,000 emails in our system. So we never did like email marketing. So what we did is first we built a sequence of emails for everyone we had in the list who weren't in our programs, so not students, but they were interested in DevOps and cloud engineering in general. So we started sharing with them more information on the topic, and I recorded a bunch of interesting, valuable videos about different topics that they would be interested in, where I also talked about our programs. So these were educational videos which mentioned how we could help them further with our programs. Then we built another email sequence as a continuation of that for the students of this main program, the bootcamp that we have. So when someone enrolls in the program, instead we're saying, now you will be getting even more valuable content on top of the technical skills that you're learning in the bootcamp. So we integrated that in the email funnel basically. And my goal with this was to make sure that people who enrolled got the most out of the program, so that we have happy customers who get the results from the program and they tell their friends and colleagues, they share it on social media, and they kind of become the people who promote our programs for us. So it basically had both benefits of improving the product itself, but also contributing to the marketing and promotion of the program. And this was actually our very first implementation of email marketing in general. Like, we'd never done this before. And I'm happy we did it in our own intuitive way instead of learning some email marketing tricks and stuff from gurus, because I literally just thought, what would be the most effective content that we can send out that will provide value and convince someone that we have solution for whatever issues or problems they have during their journey. And then I basically just worked backwards from that final result. So now we have already created around 20 videos and emails in each sequence, and we still have a few more to add until it's fully completed and is sent out automatically to these two groups of people every single week. And on our website, we have these free valuable assets that people can download, and they start getting all these additional value emails basically. So we implemented most of this. And to be honest, we saw a bit of increase in revenue, nothing crazy, but noticeable. And I think this is an important one because we have been working for last 3 months like crazy on this thing. I scripted tens of those videos, which are pretty long and very valuable. I've used AI to generate some of the outlines, but I wanted those videos, those free videos, to be as high quality as anything that we produce on our social media or in our bootcamps. So I actually had to script all of those myself with my original thoughts, with my ideas, with my examples, which had to be obviously much better than what an AI would generate. I remember I scripted all of this in 2 to 3 weeks, like working on them every single day. We then edited and configured the whole email configuration. I spent so many hours analyzing data to extract the insights of our customers, which was my least favorite part, by the way. But all these activities and work has not shown any results yet. But I understand that we are laying the foundation for the long-term results. And this is the most difficult part because you have to put in so much work and you have to know that you're laying the foundation, like you're building the underlying thing, but you're not seeing the results yet. And it's really easy to get impatient, basically question why you're working so hard and why you're doing all these things. You don't see the impact. But I learned that instead of saying, I've been working on this for the last 3 months and I see no progress, I actually reframe it to say, I'm gonna work on this for the next 6 to 12 months and I cannot control the outcome. But logically, if I focus intensively on something for 6 to 12 months, I will inevitably see the results. Like there is no way it's not gonna work out. I will make some progress 100%. That gives me the peace of mind and motivation to put in intense work and effort without being impatient with the results. Now, I have to remind myself of this perspective every now and then. It's not, something that you think about by default all the time, but it helps me extremely to not stop working on the important foundational things that I know will show results maybe in a year down the line. So working hard with delayed results is valuable perspective that you can adopt. So now that we have this amazing email funnel, basically, and we are making sure and tracking that most of our students are getting the results they want, I believe the next stage for us would be to start creating more content to fill up that funnel and basically just get more people in that email community list where we can show our programs and we can build that connection with them every single week with our content, and also show our bootcamp from many different perspectives and aspects and really convince them that we have ability and programs to solve a lot of the problems they're having. And again, we know that because we talked to a lot of our students, so we gained all this information and feedback from them. Second priority in parallel that we planned in is to hire a PM, a product manager, who will literally communicate with students every day to basically have hand on the pulse at all times of what's going on in our programs. I believe it's really important because we have thousands of students. It's pretty difficult for me to have details on how our students are using our programs and what specific opportunities we may have to come up with new features and provide even better solutions. We have good general overview, I would say, because we built in progress checks and feedback loops, and we have a really good CRM system set up where we gather all this information. But this will be for more in-depth understanding of our market and students. That knowledge will then translate into much better, much more targeted marketing and sales activities. Now, one interesting note here is that we have never done paid ads. We have only done organic content to promote our programs. And I don't plan to do paid ads, to be honest, but maybe at some point we will do them to complement organic content, maybe just get in front of people who don't know us yet and just use the ads to get them in our community and give them free value first and basically just get more people to know us. Right now, we consistently have traffic of around 5,000 to 6,000 unique visitors on website, which again, I believe is very little. It's such a low number, I think. Also considering that we're literally top search result for our main program, increasing that number of visits on website, of course, would be another, not priority, but definitely a metric that we will observe. So that's going to be another one of the things on my list. Now, in terms of team, we are changing our executive assistant on the 1st of December, and she will help us in hiring the product manager that we're looking for. She has a bit more experience in recruiting as well as social media itself than our previous one, so she will be able to help in those two main priorities for the whole next year, which is great. And as I said, instead of just throwing money at things and trying hacks to increase revenue, I chose this slower, but I believe more long-term approach of digging deeper to understand the layers and then really scale and grow on top of that. So that's my plan for the next year. We're gonna see if my perspective and my strategy is gonna work out or not, and I will definitely be sharing my learnings. And I guess the most negative but also the most exciting part of this whole journey is that it's all unknown. You don't know what will work or not. You don't know if your efforts will translate in actual results that you want. But one thing I'm happy about is that I am more motivated than ever. I'm very optimistic because, as I said, I believe that when you work really hard on something, eventually you will crack the code. It's impossible not to. It doesn't matter how hard it is initially, at some point, sooner or later, you will get it if you just stay on it, as long as you don't give up. So I'm glad that I have that inner drive to actually keep going and keep that optimism that makes me believe that this is going to work out eventually at some point. And finally, the reason I'm willing to share my mess ups and failures and all the wrong turns that we took, I believe this is 10 times more valuable than sharing the things that we did that turned out great, like all the things that we did right in the correct order and with amazing results. And I also think that sharing these struggles and challenges will be more valuable when I finally achieve my goal and look back and see all the doubts and all the frustration, not knowing if I can get there, not knowing the next steps or how to get there, and just trying to make a guess. I think it will be so much fun seeing this in the future, knowing that it actually worked out. So I'm also kind of recording this for future me to actually look back and see how it was and what challenges I was going through, what was my thought process, and basically compare it to how it worked out in reality. So if you want to follow along this journey and see all my challenges and failures as I document them in real time, then make sure to subscribe and become part of our still small community. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.